whatever EJ does on a Thursday night that's not Paladins, but we have some new faces to welcome to the stream tonight. All the way from the United States of America, we have to give a big GameStar welcome to I Hold Shift, who will be the lead caster tonight. Aggro Tank will be joining him in the support role, and Crisis will, of course, be the producer. Huge GameStar welcome to the teams and, of course, the audience. We do have 9 teams that have registered for this final week of the HEYPAL Summer 17. We have Abyss, Avant, Redux, Team Reticent, the Kings, Corvidae, Forefront, Surge, and a huge welcome to the newcomers, Team Benevolent, for their first foray into the Summer 17. But before we go any further, a huge thanks to the sponsors, Zowie, Strive for Perfection, Hi-Res Studios, Split Media Labs, with products such as Challenge, XSplit, and Player.me. Without their support, there will be no tournament, no prizes, and of course, no fun, but it is all about who is going to qualify for the ODC, who can defeat Abyss. They are up the top, and its second, third, and fourth are hotly contested, so expect a few juggles tonight, hopefully with the results. It is, of course, 5 rounds of Swiss with the predetermined maps from the official map pool, starting with the Ice Mines and then rotating right through Timber Mill, Fish Market, Jaguar Falls, and Serpent Beach in that order, and each team will accumulate points over those weeks. Abyss obviously going through with the top 4 qualifying for the ODC is this Saturday, the 19th, and prizes for that they equate to 1,500 per player, for the winner, and 800 per player. That is crystals, not cash. So 1,500 per player for the winning team, and 800 per player for the second place team. There's a lot of action coming up, but before I pass you off for the first time tonight, a quick PSA that Maeve is banned due to the 2-week competitive ruling. Torvald is allowed, but the card Eldritch Speed is banned. We didn't see in the patch notes if it was fixed or not, so Eldritch Speed is banned. Any team using Eldritch Speed or Maeve will forfeit the match for this week. And of course, it would not be a GameStar cast without viewer giveaways. Thanks to Hi-Res, we can give away a skin after every round tonight. So when prompted in chat and on stream, type !HEYPAL when prompted to get your hands on Onslaught Fernando, Black Ice Eevee, or Snapdragon Ying, all thanks to Hi-Res. You will need to re-enter after every draw, but don't worry, we will tell you in the chat and on the stream. But that is enough jabbering for me. It's time for some Paladins action, so I'm going to handball the mic over to your casters, your guides, your shamans, if you will, for the next 20 minutes or so. It is I Hold Shift and Aggro Tank.
Kid Fox, thank you so much for that warm welcome, and yes, warm indeed, as it is just past the hour of 4 a.m. for me, but that's not going to stop us from watching some incredibly hot Paladins action coming from the land down under. Of course, I'm Alan, I Hold Shift, Donofrio, and with me will be Aggro Tank, looking to bring us some action against the number 1 team coming out of OCE from the previous HRX, and Abyss will be taking on one of their, I guess, more recent sister teams in Kings. What are you expecting out of this matchup first and foremost here, Aggro?
Well, I'm really happy to see a good show from Kings, because they have been fighting over second and third, and they have been coming in hard. So naturally, Abyss are going to try and stop them hard, and they have been doing that every week so far with every team they fight. But we did see a bit of a shake-up last week with Avant going 3-4 with them. So, it could be a good sign for other teams that maybe they will be able to put up a good fight.
Without a doubt, and one thing that we've seen very interestingly kind of pan out in the conversation across the pond from you guys is simply the fact that Oceania is, in fact, a very formidable region to be taking extremely seriously. And just previous to HRX, we did see Kings was able to take a map from Abyss, but that's not stopping Avant-Garde, who's taken Abyss to a couple of different close sets, including a more recent 4-3, and so far holds the edge, Avant-Garde does, in the straight-up matchups versus Kings at 2-0. But that's not the storyline we'll be bringing to you guys. We will have Kings versus Abyss. Again, the favorites going into this, sitting at the top of the leaderboards. We'll be bringing out that first game as soon as we get a chance to get into Spectator, bring out the draft, and get you guys into Game 1 here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere.
All right, we have the draft up now as well. Looks like we're getting the first picks. From Abyss, we're seeing Fernando get picked first off. That's not really a surprise. From Kings, though, we are seeing Charlene and Makoa. I don't really see Makoa being surprised either. They have been two of the most picked tanks we've seen in the entire comp so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. The interesting thing, we've seen a lot of Makoa being prioritized and Abyss opting to go for Fernando instead of the Rock and Turtle. But again, matching up the Fernando plus a Ruckus has been so absolutely dangerous. And right behind that, the direct healing that you get from Mending Spirits and Maldamba, along with the AoE Gourd, has been such a deadly combination that has been a very formidable trio to put up against no matter what the combination seems to be. And the combination to kind of counter that is actually going to be surprisingly be an Eevee along with a locked-in Cassie thus far.
No, definitely. They have been pretty typical picks that we've seen in the comp so far, seeing it, the Cassie and the Eevee come out. So we'll see if it plays out for the boys at Kings.
And we've seen a lot of interesting things, and this is kind of what I was expecting, was possibly seeing the Drogos be locked in, as Digidog is on the hover at the moment, is that Drogos has been very successful against Eevee simply because it is becoming a lot more predictable to understand where those wormholes will take place as Eevee decides to blink in and out of fights. And of course, the faster projectile speed coming out of those rockets will mean that Eevee will have a much more difficult time trying to land shots possibly against that Drogos. And to kind of counter things out, Josh Kent will be riding the air traffic control with the Androxus possibly as they're switching back and forth. And then the Ying is the last overall support pick for King. So initial reactions so far for both of these teams as they go into map number 1?
Let's be real. Looking at the Abyss pick, it's kind of what we expected, especially seeing what everyone's grabbing up. Josh on Maldamba, Digigo on Drogos, and Hades on Fernando, Joel's on Droxy, and Croix picking up Ruckus. That's exactly what we'd expect to see them picking. Looking at Kings, it's very similar as well to how they've been playing, seeing Myth pull out Cassie, and from playing against his Cassie and with it, I'm always scared of that, but I don't think Abyss will be as scared, but they should be. They should be.
Sure. Without a doubt, and the other side of things too, especially as we look at a map like Ice Mines, we typically tend to say that Ice Mines more often than not will go to 3v3 as far as the round points go, and then usually result in who can best control the last capture point. And if you take a look at what the ultimates do provide for each team, a lot more offensive-based combinations coming out from the side of Abyss with possibilities of getting a Dread Serpent plus Hexafire or a Cursed Arm. Of course, having the same combination of not only having the Dragon's Fury, but also the Immortal. It's a very dangerous and potent combination when it comes to possible ultimate combinations on the fight. But that being said, don't rule out the Ice Storm or, of course, the Ancient Rage, which can be so very, very beautiful if you get the Makoa down to 1 HP and he's able to proc that off and get that instant 10,000 HP back in. So as we get things switching up and switching back and forth, we'll see Abyss over on the blue side, prospectively, for them. And looking at the roster, it'll be Hades playing Fernando, Josh Kent on the Maldamba, Chronix on the Ruckus, Joels will be playing Adroxus, and Digidog will be playing the Drogos.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I do apologize. Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to that, and it's going to be keen to see what happens with Ice Mines because when we announced that pick, the teams did cringe a little bit when we announced Ice Mines.
Yeah, it's a long one, especially with this horseshoe that we have put together. This usually results in very long lines of sight and very congested side-to-side fights, whether it's on the payload point or on the payload path. And as we get into the game, looking for the red team, it will be Struthlord on the Shaolin, Human Radio on Ying, Myth 93 on the Cassian 4, April on Makoa, and Flareon will be playing Eevee.
They're firing on me! I can't shake him!
Immediately sitting, will be Abyss heading towards that front point, looking to get this right side perspectively from them under control as they try to storm out the windows, and Droxus right there with the reversal, looking to move through right back with the Ruckus and Fernando here to put in a lot of sustained damage with the support of the Maldamba just behind, and First Blood does come out onto the Makoa, so a very big advantage early on, and you can see Chronix very happy to get himself right onto point with the help of Hades on the Fernando to get that point capture put up just above 40%. Digidog able to pick out Cassie as well, so no more damage on the board as Shaolin also gets taken down. Ying dimensional linking to safety, and Eevee trying to poke from the outside is just not enough so far, aggro, and so far it is all Abyss very early on.
I'm sure it is, and so far it is also very much just you streaming and commentating because mine decided to crash out. I'll be right back in, and we'll get this going.
All right. right. And as we move in, it will be the payload getting converted and moving along this payload path very quickly. And again, the combination that we see from Fernando and a Ruckus can be so absolutely dangerous simply because of the pressure they can bring not only from the shields, but also their ability to get into someone's face and put in a lot of sustained damage almost immediately. That has been the case as Makoas very, very quickly learned early on. As the payload moves, we're looking for that to continue to be the case. As it looks like I'm actually enjoying a stasis as well, so I'm missing a live action on top of that.
I am back in.
Say it to my face.
Time to take charge.
If you're back in, I'm going to need you to jump in because I am very far behind.
Looks like we have had a bit of lag from this confirmed, but they are fixing it now, so they might have actually just chucked a pause down. I'm trying to catch back up now, and we'll see how we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just paused at the moment, dealing with a little bit of lag, getting our casters back in as well, which is actually quite convenient. So the teams have paused completely independently of our issues that we've been having here. Hopefully, we will be back in just a moment with the game running as it should be. So Shift and Aggro Tank should be able to catch up using that good old fast forward, and hopefully we don't hit any more... What's the plural of stasis? Stasises? Stasis. Something like that. All right.
I hate to say it, this was the case when we were doing the Southeast Asia, is when we were going in between regions. It just seemed to not enjoy North America or Europeans watching everything across the ocean. So.
Yeah, if you're in, Christ, give me the go-ahead. I'm just relaunching again now. I worked out why mine was crashing. Never hit minus when you're spectating, by the way, guys. Never hit minus.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the skin giveaway is on thanks to High Res. So if you haven't done so already, type !HEYPAL into the Twitch chat. We are giving away several skins tonight, including Onslaught Fernando, Black Ice Eevee, and Snapdragon Ying. And that will have to be re-entered at the end of every single round, but we will prompt you. But I'm going to throw it back to I Hold Shift and Aggro Tank.
Yeah, we are here, by the way. I am still here. I am just loading back in because my Paladins crashed for me again. But just waiting for the profile to load. Once I'm in, we'll keep on going strong.
All right, game is unpausing now, so you're on Shift, and let's hope you don't hit the stasis problem again. Oh, no. And paused again. Okay, that's fine. All right, the word, ladies and gentlemen, from Shift is that he's continuing to hit status issues. So I think he might be bowing out as well. If he can't spectate, he can't commentate. So are you going to say goodbye to us, Shift?
Our only option is if you if you're willing to do a game or a screen capture and a share screen, I could just screen cap what I see from your screen. That's the only way this is going to work, unfortunately.
We'll try and set that up in between rounds. So we might actually be able to do that. So hang in there, and I will take over for the remainder of this round, along with Aggro Tank.
Yep, I am just queuing to spectate now, and I'm just waiting for it to pop me into the game. Then I will catch up, and we'll get right back into it.
All right, there you go. We're underway. Of course, the advantage right now, ladies and gentlemen, is with Abyss Esports Club, and they have the payload, I don't know, roughly halfway. Let's just call it halfway. It might not actually be halfway. as they get themselves back into position after that pause. And we'll see exactly what they do. So they essentially had to group up and get their push on again. And there they go, rolling around the corner, led by Hades on the Fernando with the DPS nicely positioned behind him, getting the damage down. They've got to get through this choke point. That's going to be their toughest moment, but there goes the Dogos ulti, flies through. And who did he delete? I think it was the Makoa that he deleted. Clears them away, the point stopped. The payload stopped for just a moment in front of the point, but the cleanup was there, and it is 2-0 in favor of Abyss Esports Club after that first round. Now, this is actually the pattern that we've seen every time we've had Abyss on stream. So if you're new to the OCE region and just joining us here on GameStar TV, Abyss Esports Club at the moment is unmatched in the OCE region. They're just so far ahead of all of the other teams. They came through as a squad from Overwatch, so they've had, I don't know, 6 months of play as a team in a very similar sort of game style coming into Paladins, and they just translated that dominance into Paladins. A lot of the teams that came into Paladins are essentially new to, I guess, the game type, you could say, and they've struggled to catch up to Abyss Esports. So this is not unusual to have Abyss Esports really dominating from the very beginning. Fernando popping his ulti straight away, and that just gives you an indication of the confidence that Abyss has, because they believe that they can just drop their ultis, win this round, and move on to the next round of tonight's HEYPAL proceedings, winning the map that way. They're not trying to conserve anything, and in fact it might actually be playing up against them, because they have been pushed away from this point, and we've got a 50% cap already. Aggro, have you managed to get in?
I am in. I am just catching up now. What time do you have the game at currently?
We're at 5:45, 46, 47. The objective captured, interestingly enough, by King. So despite Hades popping his ulti in such a big way, and in fact, did they use any other ultis? I'm not sure if they did. The boys from Abyss Esports Club are on the back foot and getting pushed right now very, very well by the boys from the Kings.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at this team, they do have 3 ults saved up right now. We do have a Fernando, Aldamba, and Droxy ult saved up. DBS is getting there. But looks like the boys are holding up them. They're just for a last minute push there just to keep them back.
Yeah, so it's one thing, of course, capping the point. It's another thing entirely carrying the payload all the way to the end. Abyss Esports Club made it look easy initially, but, well, let's see if Kings are able to repeat the performance for themselves as we follow the Androxus for Abyss Esports Club, Joel's, and he is monstering along with the help of a couple of his friends. They have now driven the Kings back, and in fact looking to create some staggered spawns by pushing all the way forward.
No, definitely. They've actually just pushed the team back, so they've pushed Myth back so far that he's actually managed to regroup with the rest of his team. So that's kept him alive, and they're now trying to push back. But let's see how this plays out, because that was almost a full team wipe from Abyss there. We're now back at the original point spawn, so let's see if the boys from Kings can get back down and get that payload moving.
Yeah, so Abyss Esports Club making the Kings work very, very hard. Not even pushing the payload, just getting to the payload is proving to be a challenge for them. But I'm sure it's a challenge that is well met. Here we go. We're still sticking with the Androxus at the moment. He's doing a great job, picking up elimination after elimination as the boys from Kings struggle to touch this payload with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, definitely Joel's cleaning up some kills there, as well as Androxus there with Chronix clearing up a couple of kills there as Ruckus as well. And we're now seeing Hades and Ruckus push forward and just keep those Kings guys back away from getting through the payload.
15 seconds remaining.
Alright, we're following the Ruckus at the moment. He's just looking for dismounts, I think. Yeah, it wasn't that was actually lag. I thought for a moment, hang on, am I actually lagged? But no, he was just shooting at the bars there with the Portalis. Looking for discounts, and there you go, they get the successful defense and set the scores to 3-1.
Yeah, and just as that round was ending, I was watching a nice little 1v1 between Androxus and Cassie. Luckily, I guess for Kings, with Myth playing Cassie, the round ended before either one died, because I was seeing Cassie quite low there. And Droxy was low as well, but I don't know, could have gone either way, but let's just say it was the luck of the respawn.
Point spawning in 15 seconds.
All right, 15 seconds, and we will be in to the next round. And I'll just ask
5.
I hold shift.
3.
If you want to just check in Slack, I'm going to send you a link. And hopefully that is going to allow you to be able to join things and see what is on my screen. Won't be immediately, but we'll hopefully be able to get it going if you load that up so long. Get that sorted out for the next, well, for the break between the round, because this is going to be a quick game, I think. We just need one more point to be capped. Now, Kings did very, very well in the second round, picking up the cap. Will they be able to do it again? Well, Fernando's popped his ulti, and that's not because he's going balls to the wall. It's because he's got his back to the wall, and once again, the Kings, with a very, very successful point assault here, aggro tank, they've managed to, they're going to be able to cap it, I think.
Stop the payload.
There you go, they cap it indeed, so it's 3-2 right now. Every point counting towards the seeding that gets made for this weekend's final. So the weekend final will be happening on Sunday. Holtzy's getting popped like mad. Evie drops her, whatever it is, it's like a blizzard. I don't know if it's actually called blizzard, but it looks like a blizzard. And once again, the boys on Abyss Esports Club have managed to get themselves into a good defensive position. They have driven off the Kings, and they are going to be defending. And Aggro, I'm actually beginning to wonder if maybe they're doing this on purpose, because as you know, you can't win on a defense, but you can prevent another team from winning. So I wonder if Abyss Esports are going to defend until it's 3-all, and then just win by capping the final point. I think I might have lost aggro tank as well. Well, that's no matter. The action hard and fast right now around the payload. It's barely gotten around the first corner through this first choke point. The boys from Abyss Esports making it very, very difficult. A great hook coming through from the Makoa. Pulls Ruckus into the welcoming embrace of Crossfire from all of the team of the Kings, and clears him away. That allows the payload to edge forward just a little bit, but now the counter-attack is coming through. Fernando pushing forward at the choke point. Well, he's hiding away. And he gets hooked. Beautifully played once again by 4April on the Makoa. In fact, we should probably follow him for a bit. Get him some screen time.
It's definitely one way for him to deal with the tanks there. So hook him in and just let the team gank him, which is, again, another beautiful hook there, taking out Androxus. But 4April did pay for that and did go down.
Yeah, in fact, it was almost a team wipe. We're following Myth93 at the moment. And he's got that lovely new Valentine's Day skin. So he's fighting hearts as he goes along. But yeah, he was riding to the payload all by himself.
Yeah, we're seeing the King boys come back hard, but they're still getting pushed out. We're seeing Flatham try and get the EV flank happening, but getting hit hard and pushed back. Now watching Cassis out try and get a flank on also, but we've got a stun from Meldam, but they're paying for that flank.
Yeah, he's doing a good job though, getting a little bit of space for his team. As yet another hook comes through to Fernando though. Fernando's going to last quite a long time, I suspect. And just the Meldumba stuns that are coming through are just so impressive from Josh Kent. He just seems to be able to call up a stun at will whenever he needs it, and he's just very, very accurate tossing those snakes out. So there you go. We're on a 3-2 situation. So of course, what that means, so there's no point one for a successful defense when you're on 3 out of the 4 points.
That's exactly it.
And so I don't know if you were here while I was wondering it out loud, Aggro, but I think, here's my prediction, the Kings are going to win this next point again, because I think Abyss might be allowing them to get it so that they can get some defensive practice in.
Yeah, definitely. It is looking that way. Like, certainly it's hard for us to say. It could just be that they're just having trouble getting the cap done with Kings pushing back hard, but I don't know. Maybe they're just being nice, letting teams get some points. And hey, like you said, it could just be practice for defense. But I like to think that it's being nice. Getting some points on the board. Why not?
Well, I mean, I think Kings would prefer us not to be nice, but rather for us to anticipate that it's because the Kings are playing as well as they actually are. So here we go, the 5-man ulti coming through from the Maldumba, and that is helping the team to absolutely clean up right now. That is 3-4 players, almost a team wipe, and just like that, well, my prediction turned out to be a little bit of Caster's Curse. We've got 60%, 66% cap. Myth 93 camping at the moment. He's just hanging around there right now. And, well, he's going to be found out there. Jumps onto the point at the last minute. Tries to get or delay that final cap, but I think it's going to be too little too late. Oh, he's bought a little bit of time, but it's all DPS players that Squishy has. Last cannon's coming through. Finally, Makoa arrives. He's going to have a little bit of beefiness to be able to hold on to things. But unfortunately, because of the overtime, they were forced to trickle in, weren't able to group up and do a united push, and that's a victory to Abyss.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with that last push that Abyss did, popping most of their ults there. We saw Drogo's ult, we saw Androx's ult. Yeah, they were going for that push. Their aim there was to eliminate his team and just get a solid push, and that's exactly what happened for him. Kings tried very hard to delay that, but like you said, it was just squishy DPS. We did see the Makoa ult come through, but sadly the team just focused that down and still tore through his health.
Hey, so we've got to pick an MVP now, so let's see exactly who that might be. Who's going to be who are you thinking as MVP? Agro?
Personally, I'm kind of leaning towards Josh Kent. Like you said, we saw a brilliant play on Maldamba there, especially some amazing stuns getting thrown out. Amazing healing as well. And yeah, he managed decent kills, I guess, for Josh. But, just like I said, those stuns were just raining down, and definitely some good stuns happening there.
Yeah, I'm happy for it to go to Josh Kent as well. So congrats, Josh. You get another entry onto the MVP board. And that reminds me, of course, we're going to be doing the MVP draw on Monday night. So we have 2 seasons of competition to draw MVPs for. So we'll make a little bit of a show of it on Monday night, 8 p.m. right here on GameStar TV1. So well done once again to Josh Kent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the first round of HEYPAL tonight. We're going to be going into a short break, just 5 minutes, and we'll be hopefully setting things up so that we can bring Shift back in if he's still awake, because it is, of course, about 4:30 a.m. there in the United States of America. So don't stick around. We'll be right back.